All right, Jamal, my big brother from another mother.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Hey, today on my show, man, I have a dear friend of mine. His name is Jamal Hutchinson. When I think about manhood as it comes to financial planning, financial literacy, the point of a power of wealth building, his face popped in my mind. And again, Jamal, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
That's what's up, man. So, Jamal, with this whole financial piece, why is that so important as a man?
It's become a part of our core values.
Okay, that's our makeup, kind of.
Yeah, but I'm learning that it can't be our main core value.
Okay, talk about that.
Even though like we're kind of bred in this culture for here in America that we're supposed to be the providers, what does that really mean? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes our identity is tied to how we can provide for our family financially.
Right.
And then the stresses can come from how am I providing for my family, whether it's big or small financially. Can I be the breadwinner? What does that look like? What if my spouse or significant other makes more than me? How does that affect my core values, my self-esteem, et cetera, et cetera? So it is a key component,
Okay.
but it can't be the only component, and we gotta redefine or look at how we define what does it mean in terms of being a man and being financially smart, being a provider, those kind of definitions. So,
Do you think sometimes, for us married brothers, do you think sometimes that small little component hinders us from growing forth and I'm growing as a couple in our marriage?
we have to talk about it.
Okay.
I'll say that. I've been married for 20 years, and it's something that I've been learning. It's a journey for me.
Okay.
I've been learning how to talk it over with my kids,
Okay.
my wife. Also looking at the careers I've chosen and to see how does this affect my standpoint in becoming the man I want to be. Mm-hmm. What is that? How does it fit into my vision for my family, for my legacy, et cetera, et cetera? You know, what does that long term look like?
Okay.
And then what are examples of that?
Okay.
So hard truth is, some of us may not have that example growing up.
Did you have that example?
My father died when I was 2 years old.
Okay.
So my example probably came from my uncles and my cousins.
Okay.
But I grew up in Atlanta, and so I had male figures, but it wasn't like directly in my household. So my best friend, they had fathers in their household. So I saw it from a distance, but not totally up close.
Gotcha.
So
So
I'm learning on the fly, essentially.
How long did it take you to learn that, though?
I'm still learning.
Still learning.
Yeah, it's a journey. I'm still learning. And so for me is now, I don't know, I got to stop saying this, but I still say it.
Okay.
Part of my job is to cut the learning curve. But cutting the learning curve means you're going through that experiment.
Right. Right.
So-
Tell me a time when you hit rock bottom. Say, I got to get this money. I got to get this money right.
Which rock bottom?
Right, that's a good point. That's a good question. Which rock bottom? When the light bulb really came on and said, I really got to get this together.
I think the light bulb has always been on.
Okay.
So, only child, role models, et cetera, I knew I had to do certain things in order for me to be successful.
Okay.
So the concept has always been there. Mm-hmm. It's just now applying what I've learned and learning more to get there. So as new knowledge comes in, it kind of changes my trajectory.
Knowledge and action.
Knowledge and actions, and how does this fit into my purpose?
Okay.
I tell people I'm Mr. Overqualified.
Okay, talk about
But
that.
I was chasing a dream to become Mr. Overqualified.
Okay.
And then so I went to school for engineering.
Ooh.
That should have been a profitable career.
Right.
I decided my last year in school I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
So that's a huge decision.
Right.
Because I want to go save the people.
Okay.
And in my head, I saw that Belafonte was funding certain people, so I knew I had certain friends who was going to do engineering, and then if I had this idea, they could be silent partners.
Gotcha.
But that was altruistic, future dream living and whatever. So I pursued social work, community work.
Okay.
And it's at that time, the knowledge that I have, that wasn't really going to be productive or
lucrative.
in a way that's going to sustain me and my family. Because my big question was, how were Dr. King and Malcolm X able to sustain their lifestyle?
Right.
And you find out they damn near was broke,
Right.
but they did have some backing.
Okay.
So not to repeat that same cycle, how do I do this thing and figure out the ups and downs? So I went from engineering to public policy, public administration. At the time when I was applying for jobs, that avenue was, I wouldn't say was blocked, but it didn't pan out. I caught the teaching bug. Teaching bug basically said, if you want to come into our school, you have to get either 18 hours certification class.
Right.
So I looked at the map. All I needed was 6 more hours for another master's degree. You know what? Go get the other master's degree. You look at the pay schedule here in Nashville, Tennessee. 2 masters was $45,000 even with my experience and prior experience, it still
Right.
wasn't a lot of money.
Right.
But I got 5 kids.
How many kids?
5. So the deal of becoming
And not on child support.
No, I'm married,
Right.
blended family.
Gotcha.
But I got five kids.
Right.
If I had child support, I wouldn't even thought about becoming a teacher. I'm not gonna even lie.
Right.
But my mentor told me you got to have multiple streams of income.
Right.
I just internalized that a little bit different. I worked multiple jobs, so in our culture we call it working like a Jamaican.
Right.
It should have been go get a skill set and start a business on the side of that to supplement teaching.
Okay.
Because the biggest problem with teaching is just that you don't get paid enough. So now I'm working multiple jobs and it's a stressor for me to try to do both. And in order to move up, either you got to get advanced degrees or you got to move up in administration. So then the plan was, okay, cool, let me go back and get a certification to become a principal. Here goes the teaching game.
Okay.
You have to get another certification in order to do that, and it's to be certified through another program. So I went back at my EDS to become a principal, did that. It was fairly simple. EDS is right there between a master's and doctorate. I didn't take the other hours to become a doctorate because I just didn't see the return on the investment.
Gotcha.
And then so here I am, I'm working to get these other degrees, but rock bottom was nothing is really panning out. I lost my voice. At the time, I'm thinking like it's time for interviews, but I can't talk for 33 days.
You literally lost your voice.
I lost my voice for 33 days. I caught strep throat. Just had it for the time period.
But that stemmed from stress, though. You think?
My village mom told me I need to figure out spiritually and physically what was going on, and a lot of us probably was stressed of trying to provide and just getting after it. And so that happened, and then, because of the position I was in, I was working in alternative schools.
Okay. No, it's a whole other beast.
Budget cuts.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
Got to pivot. I went to FIS, but that whole thing of let's pursue this assistant principal thing, I just didn't have time to kind of like wait that out or go back in the classroom, do this, play the politics game. In my head, I just didn't have time.
Gotcha.
To play that game all over again. So ended up at FIS, no knock on FIS, but I needed that time period just to kind of like not be as stressed out.
Right.
So I was on the grant for 5 years, and while everybody else is getting raises, I'm stuck at this particular salary.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how I came into the financial game. Was I needed something to supplement my income without me working like 100 hours and being stressed and putting on weight, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So that kind of provided an opportunity for me to earn I was sold on the vision of I could turn my annual income to my monthly income.
Okay.
Now, how do I do this and make it consistently? So that's
Right.
the agenda I'm on right now. How do I turn my annual income into my monthly income? So I had spouts of that happen throughout my journey of financial education.
Wow.
In the financial profession I'm in right now.
Right. Well, he's my financial guy, so I appreciate him. So how did this whole rock bottom, how did this affect you mentally as a man? You feel worthless? Did you feel like I'm not man enough because I'm not providing? Low self-esteem kicked in? Do I need, how did that?
Not so much the provider piece. I think just being transparent, like the last 5 years, has more so been like just outside external things,
Okay.
like just COVID, grief, loss, transitions,
Right.
drama. But because I'm a full-time entrepreneur,
Right.
what I'm learning now is I have to give myself grace, because if I don't go out and eat or go kill, I
Right.
don't eat.
Right.
I don't have the safety net of having a 9 to 5.
Right.
So I have to learn how to manage my emotions, that it doesn't affect me working a 9 to 5, working my business.
Gotcha.
Because when I'm up, and business is up. If I'm down, I'm down. But money is tied to, money is an energy, but I can't allow that to affect what I'm doing through this time period.
How did you get through that 5-year period?
I'm still going through it, bro.
Okay. Okay.
So I did start therapy. When my grandma passed, I did do some grief counseling.
Okay.
And I've just been doing counseling ever since, just to either to let go, talk about it. I do have a group of friends, a circle group that we can
A community, a village?
Yeah, you got to have that. So of course, I'm a member of a frat. I should say, of course, but I'm a member of the greatest fraternity in the world, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Here we go. Here we go. I knew it was going to come up.
But my line brothers, the brothers I met through the fraternity, even some outside fraternity members, my college friends. I do have a group of people I can go to, plus therapy.
I think one thing I love that you said, and I'm a firm believer of this, you don't have to do it alone. And I think we as men, we feel like we have to take the world on by ourselves, and we don't. I love the power of accountability. I love the power of village. I love the power of a group, safety net. But I also, what you said, you allow grace to be applied.
Working on grace.
That's the only way I can survive it. That's the only, as a black man in America, those key components for me, I have to have it. I have to have the grace, the mercy, God, village. And once I got that in my spirit, the load didn't become heavy for me no more.
My new thing now is kind of came up is forgiveness.
Okay.
So that's
how's that working for you? How's that working? I mean, that's the topic. I just talked to my homeboy. They had a meeting discussion today, and this discussion was on forgiveness. How's that working for you?
I'm avoiding the
real deal.
The assignment. The assignment is to write a letter to myself, forgiving myself. So I have to sit my ass down and excuse my language and write that.
Bleep that. Yeah, but but you know it's gonna bring. But you know it's gonna bring some healing to you though.
Yeah.
Because at this point, how old are you now, Jay?
I'm 45.
This is the time and the place you finna really, baby. You finna go to the next level, but you can't go to that next level until you deal what you got to deal with.
Yeah.
Because this is not for you. It's for other men, other people that you come in contact with, for you to be a blessing to.
Yeah. So that's the journey piece.
Okay. When you gonna do it, Jay? You gonna do it for real?
I'm gonna do it.
Okay. This weekend.
Not this weekend.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
This.
Well, let me ask you this: are you transparent enough to say, one of the things I need to forgive myself is what?
I'm not ready. Somebody probably make me cry.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Or the bottom of the totem pole that won't make you cry. Are there any regrets?
Yes, there are regrets. And so the forgiveness piece is like those we're learning to. So reframing train of thought. I know through like the last 5, 6, 7 years is reframing how I say things like failure. Like technically I don't handle failure very well.
Okay.
Because I just that winning mentality. I'm supposed to win. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do this. So I remember my best friend got the same birthday. He told me because I filled my comps for a master's. He said, "Jamal, shut up. Stop crying. Like, you've always been good at such and such and such, but this is the one time you just need to shut up and go take the test again." So and that's when we was in our 20s.
Right.
So of course some of those lessons do kind of come up. And now it's just a matter of reframing what I've been through and not taking this where the grace comes in. And
Okay.
then I think the next level that I have to get to is definitely doing that forgiveness piece, but it's a process. So I'm learning the emotional wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, but don't take us into 2025.
well, when it's time, it's time.
And then she'll start on answer.
Yeah,
I think
I'm gonna use.
you're too close.
I'm gonna use all the buzzwords to
Okay.
keep avoiding
Okay.
the situation,
Okay.
but I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna put a time frame on it. I don't want to put a time frame on it.
Okay, so let's recap a little bit. You said you can, as men, we cannot, because for years we tied our makeup as a man is how much money we make. I got the big house, I got the big car. And you said earlier that that should be our main core. I think our main core is where we're mentally. Because if we know where we are mentally, you'll realize it's not just making the money or making sure you're on point with the multiple streams of income. Because sometimes that can be overwhelming. Mm-hmm. God forbid you're married and got a lot of kids. What advice would you give for the single brother, for the millennial men about finances?
It's a lot of information out here.
Yeah. There's no excuse no more. Then why you can't make money.
I wouldn't say an excuse, but I would say you have to seek knowledge and then apply it.
Okay.
Like I always talk about, there's multiple ways to build wealth.
Right.
And you need to kind of build a team around that.
Okay.
So, you can talk about this, you can talk about this, you can talk about that. And maybe you just focus on one thing and your team focuses on everything else.
Okay.
And you allow them to do that. So if you're a young man, you gotta read some fundamental books. You gotta read Think and Grow Rich, the Black edition and the Napoleon Hill edition. So there's two editions. There's Napoleon Hill, and there's one by Dr. Kimbrough. You gotta read some books. You gotta just do some studying. You gotta, ideally a perfect world is you reading 10 pages a day.
Okay.
That's minimum. Ian Dunlap, he says 50 pages a day, but I came up on reading 10 pages a day.
Right. Me too.
So the knowledge is there, and then I think they have a little bit more access to information, because when I was coming up, it was, hey, just get a budget and avoid credit cards. Well, that wasn't even enough. Now just a whole lot more stuff that you can get involved in, and that you have to be open to not doing the traditional American thing. You can't just go to 9 to 5, get a 401k, and think you're gonna be okay. That's a pipe dream. That's a lot of telling everybody. You can't do that.
Right.
Like, you gotta really think about multiple sources of income.
Right.
Because to be honest, you got to have multiple sources of income to retire.
Right.
You got to think about, I'm in my 20s, how can I set myself up for my future self?
Gotcha.
So for anybody, it's like, I would start from who do I want to be in the future? And how can I bring that future into the now?
Gotcha.
So it's baby steps.
Baby steps. What do you say to the young man who's scared to step out there like that? They just fresh got out of college. What do you say to the young man just, I guess, develop their village to kind of?
No, because the one thing I am proud of myself is that no matter what, I made a decision, I stuck to it.
Okay.
No matter the consequences, positive or negative, I made a decision. It was a risk saying, I'm not doing engineering. And my boy said, Jamal, you told me I couldn't be a stuntman. You went ahead and did everything you wanted to do.
Right.
And I should have probably not told him not to do that, but you know what I'm saying? I should have told him, yeah, go pursue your dreams.
Right.
So just go do it, man. Especially if you're young, you got time to bounce back.
Yeah.
As long as it's not detrimental, it's a risk assessment.
Okay.
How detrimental is this to my outcome?
Gotcha.
But if in the pursuit of this future self, that's what my thing is. The future doesn't make me anxious, but it does. But I can see that future self.
Okay.
So, who am I now? How do I get there?
That's good.
So, how do I get there?
Good.
And so now, it's just for young men, it's just you got a lot more information. So my son's a good example.
Okay.
Cutting the learning curve.
Okay.
You have a bunch of us.
Okay.
Who are older and been through some things.
Right.
Before you make a decision, talk to me first, weigh the pros and cons, but then go talk to your uncles. Get a different perspective. I don't have an ego about it, but go talk to them. Because I may not have the experience to do what you want to do right now, but they do. So he has a circle of uncles and friends and people like that he can go get advice from. I didn't particularly have that access or knew I had that access to information that he does right now.
I think one thing I love about what you just said is that you don't have no ego about it. I think that's one thing, a downfall for us as brothers, is that we don't want to ask for help, or we don't want to ask for help, or just get wise counsel. We at a point that's pride, and the Bible says pride comes before a fall. Where can we find you, Jamal Hutchinson?
My social media is King Jamal 1906 on Instagram. It's King Jamal Hutchinson on Facebook. My phone number is 615-498-8808. I do believe in mentoring. I'm learning to maintain some of my time first.
Oh, that's good.
And then I can give to the world. But I mean, for any young man that wants some advice, I'm a phone call away. So I do. That's my, Derek Young is somebody I talk to every blue moon. But I look up to other people, and it's a mentoring train. So I can give back.
Yeah.
Especially if you really want it. Talk to me if you really want it. If you don't want it, don't waste my time.
Okay.
That's how
I heard that. Don't call him. Don't reach out to him. Don't waste his brother's time, because his brother's going global. Jay, thank you for coming to see me, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. You can find us in all social media platforms. My Manhood Matters. Thank you for watching My Manhood Matters. If you like what you're watching, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, and see you next time.